Alrighty, hi guys. I hope you guys are having a great day. So, if according to Pokeminers, the data mine for Great League happens to be, at least for well, Great League, I mean Flying Cup. That Great League is in Flying Cup. So, Flying Cup will be only Great League. So that means the whole video I made about Landorus, unfortunately, that ain't gonna happen because Landorus can't go below 2,500. Actually, it can't go below like I think like 2,000 or something like that. Or there's no way you can get one for Great League. So the number one pick for this cup is going to be, with no doubt, the one you see on the right, the myth, not man, myth, legend, the dinosaur flying fossil thingy called Aerodactyl is going to be your champion. Now I'm going to dive into Flying Cup and just what you should probably plan for, but there's actually there's a way you can like look at this at pvpoke.com even though it hasn't been released yet. But just to put it out there, like, Flying Cup just seems to be really... I don't want to say rock, paper, scissors, but, like... Do you see that thing on the right? It's just going to throw a bunch of rocks at you, basically. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to show you real quick how you can generate the custom rankings from pvpoke.com. So all you have to do is go here. Oh, yeah, custom rankings. So go above, do custom rankings right here, and then add a filter it by type, and just put flying in there, and then and then that's pretty much it. So add the filter, do Great League, and then just filter it by type, and then just put flying only, and then hit simulate, and then it should generate the rankings for you. Presto. So here's your list. Now I'm going to analyze each shield scenario. So we're going to do 2, 1s, and 0s. So right now I'm going to add an advanced filter. We're going to add filter and then we're going to put it in advanced. This allows you to change the shield scenario. This is how we'll analyze lead switches and closers. First, I'm going to cover your leads. Alright, so the lead was in the 2 shield scenario. So everything in the 2 shields, this is what's going to happen. Your number 1 lead. So your number 1 lead is going to be Aerodactyl. Of course, Aerodactyl is extremely powerful. It has no key losses, meaning it is literally the king of this cup. If you put it in the 2s and you have shields, Aerodactyl will destroy you, which is pretty nuts. You would want an Aerodactyl with high attack because all you're pretty much going to use Aerodactyl for is throwing rocks. So all rock throws. But as you see, with shields, Aerodactyl murders everything. If you win, if you have a higher attack than your opponent, whoever can farm down their Aerodactyl is going to be pretty much king. And then whoever's Aerodactyl survives is going to throw their energy. Yes, you can farm the Aerodactyl, your opponent's Aerodactyl, but that means your Aerodactyl is also loaded on energy. And Aerodactyls with ancient powers or rock slides get stabbed because it's a rock type, so it hurts. But like I said, Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl is the king of this cup. I'll analyze the top 5. So the number 1 is going to be Aerodactyl. Your number 2 lead is Shadow Articuno. Actually, I'll analyze top 6 because Articuno's in here twice because it's a Shadow. Shadow Articuno doesn't have a lot of losses as well. You only lose to Ho-Oh, Togetic, and Aerodactyl, which is the only lead you lose to is Aerodactyl. And guess what, everyone? Just what I just said. Aerodactyl is like not oppressive, nothing really opposes Aerodactyl in the lead. So your number 1 lead is Aerodactyl. So it's going to be an Aerodactyl lead fest. Pretty much. Aerodactyl will even beat things like Aerodactyl wipes the floor with anything as long as it has 2 shields. So you should always lead with a high attack Aerodactyl, and then you have your switch and your closer. But anyways, as far as leads go, Togetic with ancient power rock, of course, and then it even beats Altaria opposing Togekisses, just because ancient power, it's like rock throw, but you don't get the stab. That's pretty much the issue. But as you see here, Togetic still loses against things like Aerodactyl, Skarmory, Mantina, Moga, etc. in the lead. So, and our top 5, like I said, for Altaria. Dragons are still really strong in this cup because there are a lot of elemental flying types. But the reason being it's not is because you absolutely get annihilated by Articuno. If they have an Articuno on their team, this is going to suck for you really bad. So Altaria, like I said, very viable, very powerful still. In fact, there are a lot of Dragon Breath users that are really powerful. You even have Gyarados as a strong Dragon Breath user. And the funny thing about Gyarados is that Gyarados actually does a lot of work against a lot of meta. It beats a lot of Shadows I mean, beats a lot of dragons, and you also beat Drifblim. Why Drifblim is so weak in this meta, I don't know. Actually, Drifblim can be very interesting. As you see, there's a lot of picks over here, but I don't think you'll find a lot of spice outs off of here, minus the, like, top 30. Because all of the top 30 is just monstrously powerful. It's extremely strong. And there's not a lot. And as you see, everything loses to Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl just destroys this meta. It's so good. Even Drifloon, which you could try to be a little spicy with Drifloon, but Drifloon still wipes out Aerodactyl. Now, Gyarados with Dragon Breath is another interesting thing. The funny thing is Gyarados would the funny thing is, okay, so in the lead, in the twos, yes, Aerodactyl is king. However, let's run this real quick. So here's a sim. So let's run Gyarados with water. This is another thing. So Gyarados with Waterfall versus Aerodactyl. Again, we're talking about leads right now, so we're going to take a look at leads. I'm going to put Waterfall, Aqua Tail, and Crunch. And in the 2 shield, you actually beat Aerodactyl. Secrets, because your Waterfalls actually chunk through. Well, that's the 1 shield, so... In the 2 shield, well, actually, no. You could just straight Waterfall. As you see here, you straight Waterfall, and you beat Aerodactyl. Arguably the only thing in the 2s that will straight up beat Aerodactyl by virtue of Waterfall. But like I said, Aerodactyl is still incredibly powerful. If they don't lead with Aerodactyl, it's gonna suck for you a lot. And, wait, hold on, that's just the regular version. What about the Shadowed Gyarados version in the lead? At least this is what I've observed. Aerodactyl wins in 9. Just because, even though you want the regular Gyarados, just because Rakdos will do more damage to you, and you lose defense because of the Shadow boost. So as you see here, Shadow Gyarados is not an incredible. You can use water. Mantine is very strong, but even Mantine doesn't beat Aerodactyl in the 2 shield. If you use Bubble Beam, maybe. So as you see the theme I'm going with here. Like, yo, use like water, like you know what I mean, like use the water, the power of water. And unfortunately, even with 2 shields and the attack B buff going down, bubbles aren't still enough to take out Aerodactyl before Rock throws you down. So the only viable thing that I see that can be oppressive in the lead is, other than Aerodactyl, is just Waterfall Gyarados. But even then, your Waterfall Gyarados is like almost dead. It's borderline dead. But you'll just be able to farm down Gyarados. Or not really farm it down, but you throw the Aqua Tail and then Beta Shield. So you'll have shield advantage. Gyarados versus Aerodactyl. That's my prediction. Gyarados and Aerodactyl are very powerful leads. Because nothing oppresses Aerodactyl into 2 shields, except, like I said, Waterfall Gyarados. In the 1 shield, guess who's on top? Oh, you guessed it! Aerodactyl! He's back, he's batty, he's heavy, and he throws a bunch of rocks at you. Seriously, how does Aerodactyl throw a rock throw when it can't even... It flies. I have no idea. That's okay. Aerodactyl in the 1 shield is now weaker, just because nothing really oppresses it. Aerodactyl wins against pretty much everything. You have key losses now, though, so you lose against Skarmory, you lose against Gligar, you lose against Pelipper, and you lose against Gliscor. So Aerodactyl now has losses as long as there's the 1 shield, because in the 1 shield, these opposing mons can just take out can take out Aerodactyl. So as you see here, open the link in a new tab, and you see the battle simulation. Here's what happens, and why Gligar in Shadow matchup wins. Like, it only wins up a shield. So key losses. If you look at the Skarmory matchup, that's Skarmory matchup right there. So if you look at the Skarmory matchup, you actually win by virtue of literally just air slashing. You'll air slash down just because of Skarmory's defense. As you see here, wait, hold on, let's flip this. Skarmory versus Aerodactyl, and you lose everything. You win the zeros, you win up a shield in the 1s. But in the zeros, you win because that's if you have Flash Cannon. What if you have Sky Attack? Flash Cannon. Let's do this. Okay, so you Flash Cannon it down, which is super close. But anyways, as you see, your key losses in the 1 shield is Skarmory, which is very weird. Wait, hold on. Let me double check this. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's check it. Let's actually check it. So Aerodactyl just literally rock throws you to death, but you win the 1 shield, right? Oh, no, Skarmory... No, where does Skarmory... I don't see where Skarmory wins. Let's flip it over. Put this over here. Yeah, I don't see where Skarmory wins in the one shield against because Aerodactyl, I believe, just narrows you, just throws you down. I guess some of these aren't really super absolutes, I think, because this is the one shield simulate. And then Aerodactyl wins against Zapdos. Let's see what happens. I'll do a matrix on this later, but this is just interesting. So like I would double check your simulations just to see if they actually work out really well. Let's see. Sky Attack Brave Bird, I believe. Oh, it's because it had Brave Bird, that's why. So Brave Bird, yeah, you Brave Bird it to death in the end with barely any HP. So that's why Skarmory lives. You need Brave Bird. It's just a moveset. Never mind. That's my fault. So you win just because of virtual Brave Bird. So you literally just Brave Bird. You will get Brave. If you don't have a shield, you get Brave Birded down by Skarmory. As you see, these will take out said Aerodactyl. And Aerodactyl seems to be very strong in the ones. Zapdos is the switch that I want to look at because Zapdos is really strong. You can even use Amolka. But the thing about Zapdos is it actually beats Emolga. So Zapdos is the only thing that will beat Emolga, and it also beats Zapdos. It also beats Aerodactyl in the zeros. It's the #1 closer, and we'll review that in a sec. But because Zapdos is just really strong as a switch, because like you see, you have over here, it'll bait your last shield, and it destroys a lot of it. And the only thing that really opposes it is Altaria, Dragonite, and Aerodactyl. Now, obviously, it's gonna suck if you get a Dragon switch into you, but you know it's Zapdos. And then looking at your safe switch. It's a lot of things lose against Zapdos, as you see here. With a shield, Zapdos just mutilates so much in this meta. Except the dragons, like I said, except the dragons. That's the only exception. Except dragons and Gligar. So Gligar can also be good. Gligar is a ground flying type. So because of that, it actually resists. Rock Throw actually does neutral damage. So two things, but so Gligar is a really good pick as far as a safe switch, just because. However, if you see Articunos and Zapdoses, it's going to suck. And I can imagine there are going to be individuals that will use their Elite TM just to get an advantage, especially for this season. That's the ones. Here's the zero shields. Alright, so we did the switch. Like I said, #1 lead, Aerodactyl. For your switch, I would use Zapdos. Now let's analyze the closer. And the zeros, Zapdos is king. Wait, what? Yep, Zapdos is king. So Zapdos, specifically Shadow Zapdos in the closer, nothing opposes it except dragons. And Drifblim. Well, yep, and Drifblim. I'm guessing just because Icy Wind will kill you. But as you see here, Zapdos as a switch does heavy damage against Zapdos. Shadow will win against Aerodactyl. The regular Zapdos will win against Aerodactyl as well. And Zapdos Shadow actually beats Emolga. So Emolga is very powerful as a closer as well because Discharge Thundershock goes off really quickly. However, you're very limited to like what you kill. You'll lose against Gligar. You'll lose against Gligar really hard, obviously because of electricity, but you're linked to a mono type. So you'll lose against Altaria. Altaria is the anti-meta closer for most SIGs. If they're running an elemental closer, Altaria is really good, but as you see, Altaria still has some pretty deep losses. You could probably use Skarmory in my opinion, because Skarmory actually beats Skarmory actually beats like Articuno. It beats all the dragons. It beats Articuno, but she'll lose against all of the electricity. So Skarmory is, even though it's rank 6, looks good, but I don't think I approve of it. For your closer, you have a variety of picks here. Drifblim's an interesting one. But here's the problem. The problem with Drifblim is that it loses really hard in the lead and the switch. Even though it does get Hex Shadow Ball, you can yeah, it's very tricky to run. So you're gonna have to play with it a lot. I'll do a matrix analysis in a bit, but that's the Flying Cup in a nutshell right here. So we're going to do this, and also, so what we're going to do, so we have this huge list right here. What I'm going to do is on my next video, I'll run a matrix, and then we'll see just exactly how each one stacks up on each other. I'll do the top 10 for time's sake, because I don't think, top 20 can be good. Lugia might be good, but that's what it is. It's Aerodactyl land. Aerodactyl with high attack will run over the competition. Now, any spice picks are like, if there's anything that you're thinking about, I would say go anti. Is there anything that beats Aerodactyl and Zapdos convincingly? No, that's the problem. There's nothing that beats two specific monotypes unless it's Aerodactyl itself. So there might be some picks here that can actually like shake up the meta. There's always anti-meta or something really interesting in every meta. The thing about it is just it's really hard because Rock literally runs over everything. Zapdos in the lead is destructive because Aerodactyl just runs you over. Aerodactyl runs over everything in the lead. So you can go full on anti-Aerodactyl, but I would be really careful how you utilize your team because it's going to be really tricky. Practice, 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 and take a look at what you got, and that's what you'll get. Anyways, I'm going to leave it here. You guys have a wonderful day. Like I said, Aerodactyl, Aerodactyl, Aerodactyl. If you don't have a high 15 attack one, I'd look for it now and use it. The reason you want 15 attack is because Rock Throw does so much damage. So Rock Throw would do, you want, basically in the mirror, let me show you real quick. You want a high attack one for this purpose. We go to the battle screen and put on Aerodactyl. So here's Aerodactyl. So here's an Aerodactyl and versus here's the Aerodactyl. So we're going to have two Aerodactyls. Now here's what I'm going to do. For this Aerodactyl, we're going to change the IV sets to 15 attack. So we're going to give this, we're going to give the example, we're going to give this sample 15 attack, 5, 5. Let's assume it has 15 attack. Let's assume it's a perfect. Let's assume that's a perfect Aerodactyl. So there's a perfect Aerodactyl at full level. And then you run against an Aerodactyl with bitter IVs. What happens? Let's check. Let's just check it. Simultaneous knockout. Wait, what? Nani? What if we do this? 13 attack. 14, 15, 15. Out of like a curiosity stake. There's still a is there a bulk point or break point for like Aerodactyl in the mirror? Oh, there is. Okay, let's see. In Pokemon Go damage. Okay, so here's their minimum. So if you scroll down here, this is the break and bulk point. So let's see. For highest Rock Throw damage, the type levels are 14, 0, 11. So let's do. Wow, that's a lot of attack. So 14. Let's try this. Let's do the 14, 0, 11. We'll do that. Versus this version right here, which is 14. So a perfect, so this level versus a perfect. It's still a simultaneous knockout. Oof. What if we do, I don't know what else to do, guys. Let's do 115, 15. Let's try that. Max breakpoints, etc. Both level 20. Let's see what happens. Still a simultaneous knockout. Wow. So it looks like there's a lot. Yeah, this is weird. So 3, 11, 7 reaches. So let's, yeah. I would run a lot of your matchups on Aerodactyl just to figure it out. But as you see here, this is really interesting. Like everything, you can have a high attack one with a low attack. You can, let's try a really bad, so let's just do a little bit of experimentation. 8, 8, 7. And then let's do that one. So let's put kind of the same range together. Kind of a little bit. There's still a simultaneous knockout. Okay, so there's not really, I don't think there's really a play to where, because you literally just Rock Throw each other down. Even if you had, let's see, 1 attack, 2 attack. Even if you had 2 attack, let's try this. 2, 0, 11. It's still a simultaneous knockout. So you guys will literally Rock Throw each other to death if you get the mirror. So even though you want a high attack one, if you run the sim, if I do a max IV Aerodactyl, which is that, and then you do a 15, 0, 15. Well, I think the reason why you want a high attack one isn't really for the mirror, but rather for everything else. Oh, there's a bulk point. Is it more important to have one with higher IVs than it is with attack? Well, this is the mirror considering. Well, that's a low level, so let's try this. 15 to, let's see, 15. Let's imagine that, and then let's see what happens, because this was interesting. So there's actually a way that the lower attack one actually beats the So the lower IV one actually might has a chance to survive against the other one. But that's also really risky because with that little bit of HP left, it's very likely whatever comes in next is going to farm you down. Yes, you'll win, but you'll win switch. So higher defense has play. I'm guessing you want 15 attack just to take out other things like Articuno. For example, if you flip this matchup and you put Articuno with the high attack one, here's what happens. You get absolutely annihilated because these rock throws just chunk the crap out of you. So one rock throw going through really makes a difference. But like I said, if it's the mirror, you're just going to knock each other out. I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. I'll be doing more on this. Well, the Flying Cup is going to be Great League again, so just be prepared, train hard, and study hard. And then you guys, I will see you on the next video.